You're listening to the Cricket Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cricket Podcast for part 2 of our show, where we'll be covering India v the West Indies, Major League Cricket, maybe quickly Pakistan in Sri Lanka. Some questions and there's some blast action. We're going to get through it pretty quickly, pretty snappy, Max. After we mention that we're sponsored by Manscaped, use the code 20% off. No, use the code CricketPod for 20% off and free shipping with our friends at Manscaped. Head to the show notes, click the link, get involved. Get your Performance Package 4.0. That's what I would recommend, Max. Performance Package 4.0. They sent one to us, not one to share, one.
And I have it on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We leave it in a Dropbox in South London.
I can heartily recommend it based on personal experience. Once again, use the code CricketPod for 20% off, plus free shipping with our friends at Manscaped. Max, this is what happened when India went to West Indies. They turned up in Dominica, took loads of photos in their new sexy kit. And it's an interesting kit.
It is new and sexy.
Got Adidas stripes on the shoulders, like the shoulder lapels, in blue. They've ruined it slightly with is it Biju, the sponsor? I can't remember. Dream 11, that's Dream 11, the sponsor, the Dream 11 in red. I think that does ruin it, but it was a good effort on the kit front. When it came to the cricket, they destroyed the West Indies. I think it's probably fair to say. Bowled them out for 150. Ashwin took 5 for 60. Scored 421. Jaiswal on debut, 171 runs for him. A pretty good innings. And in the second innings, Ashwin took 7 for 71. Which of the stories from this game would like to talk about first? Ashwin was very good. Jaiswal was very good. West Indies were quite bad. They're the three options.
Let's go with let's start with the positive and go with Ashwin. Interesting that India rocked up in the West Indies and they rolled out a nice bouncy turny pitch for them. That was very hospitable, I thought. And I
did think this.
Yeah. Ashwin took full benefit from it. I mean, it's just weird, isn't it?
It did occur to me that maybe playing on a pitch where Rakeem Cornwall was getting 5.5 degrees of turn on day 3 played slightly into India's hands. Now, what I thought West Indies would do was roll out basically the template that they used against England in March last year and just see if they could get a draw. They've got a few batters who like to dig in. The Brathwaite being the ringleader of that approach, but young Chanderpaul, he likes a little bit of a block, doesn't he? And then they've got some kind of attritional bowlers. Holder can bowl long spells. Kemar Roach has got a decent spell in him. And maybe they get a bit lucky. Maybe Alzari Joseph bowls quickly and they knock a few Indians over and they set up a chance of winning. This was definitely not the pathway to victory. This was definitely the pathway to getting Ashwin's mojo back after he was dropped for the World Test Championship final. It's pretty bonkers, isn't it? How good he is, and 2, how he ended up not playing
in the World Test Championship final.
Yes, the team could accommodate Umesh Yadav or Shardul Thakur. It's good. I mean, look, it is great to see him back bowling well. He is a lot of fun to watch. It did really feel like it was a one-sided battle, though. It wasn't. Spinners when they're at their best, or when it's most fun to watch a spinner, I think, is when over a few overs they kind of slowly work a player out. And Ashwin is a master of doing this, an absolute master.
But every now and then, you disappear for a 6 or 2, and there's jeopardy for both sides of it. But this was just like it was a.
This wasn't a battle. This was a rout.
It was just someone playing with their food, really.
It was. It was like Ashwin was a cat and West Indies were mice. And he ate 12 of them. which is a
Guts
lot
and
nice.
all.
So that's the deep dive on Ashwin. We also have Jaiswal, who looked $1 million, Max, scoring 171. I said it in the preview, but
171
on debut. It's the first look that quite a few people have got of him outside of India, I think. I mean, obviously, if you're an IPL aficionado, you'll have seen him rocking his stuff with a lot of success for Rajasthan Royals in the last season.
Yeah, but you wouldn't
translated
necessarily.
well.
Yeah, you wouldn't necessarily expect that, would you, to translate to 171 off 387 balls? That's
No, that's
quite the different Jaiswal that we would be used to. But I mean, that's a hell of a way to announce yourself, isn't it? On
it was
your
incredible.
debut.
And I think, I mean, like we sort of slightly talked down Ashwin's 12th, if you can talk down a 12th, because
We should probably talk this down a
he's
bit.
just no. I think actually slightly the opposite. I think
No?
Ashwin v the West Indies on a turning pitch is that's only going to go one way. What we got was probably 1 wicket more than Ashwin would normally get in those circumstances. He bowled like only a bit better than he normally bowls. I think West Indies bowling is still not pants. Like the West
fair,
Indies,
yeah.
the West Indies are pants because their batting is really, really pants. The bowling, Kemar Roach, a really good bowler, particularly to left-handers. I know it wasn't the pitch for him, but that still is a thing. Their spinners aren't awful. Alzari Joseph is a decent player. Jason Holder is one of the best dry bowlers in the world. So there was a test, is what I'm saying for Jaiswal here. This wasn't free runs. These weren't free runs. And I think actually it is a real statement. And I was highly impressed with what he achieved. I wasn't quite as impressed as Simon Hughes, who, when he was on 14 not out after the end of day one, was basically like, "This is the second coming of Christ." But maybe Simon Hughes was right because he did go on to get another 131 runs. But like I would say from this Test match, big win for Jaiswal. I enjoyed what I saw of it.
Do you think his man of the match award was deserved then over Ashwin?
He didn't really. Did he? He didn't
Jaiswal
really get man of the match.
Jaiswal did, yeah.
Well, that is silly. That is a bit silly. But I think as personal achievements go, Jaiswal's achievement on debut against that bowling attack is better than India's best spinner of all time taking 12 wickets against a bad team on a spinning pitch. Now, their personal achievements in terms of winning the cricket match. If you take 12 for 120, you have bowled out more than half. You've taken more than half the wickets. That's ridiculous. I can't believe. Yeah, I'm angry about that, Max. Anyway, look.
Stupid.
The other story is West Indies being quite bad.
Shocking.
It's been a shocking month for West Indies cricket, hasn't it?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, all formats really. Yeah, obviously failing to make it to the World Cup, and it's one thing after another, isn't it? And you just wonder what the change that they can make is. I mean, the CPL as a franchise tournament it's been like sort of middling. People go there. It's a good place to play. They get decent players in. It's a decent tournament, but you wonder now, as with the development of franchise cricket, with things like the SA20 and maybe less so Major League Cricket, but maybe Major League Cricket, whether that's going to fall further down the pecking order and whether it's going to get worse before it gets better. That's my concern. That this is we're not talking like the bottom here. This could be, on the slippery slope to something a whole lot worse. And it's a shame, but yeah, I mean it's clearly the batting that's the problem, isn't it? I mean, none of them average more than 30 at best, and I think it's a shit show.
Average is 35, and that's it.
Yeah,
I think they might be the only one over 30, which it is pretty bad. And what I will say though is that this does sort of happen, and cricket probably has never been more unequal than it is in terms of resource. And India v West Indies is maybe the most extreme resource gap
example of that.
On the Test match side. So look, the bowling's okay. I mean, I hope that they rebound to some extent, but I do worry a little bit like you that they could be sliding towards something worse. And I don't. I think as well. I don't really know. What's the long-term vision for West Indies cricket?
I think they need help.
Yes.
From the other boards.
Yeah. Anyway, look, it's sad. We haven't got that much time, so we will move on. I'm going to mention quickly, Sri Lanka are playing Pakistan, Max. Shaheen Afridi back in action there, 3 wickets for him. The big story from this, and this is the only thing we're going to talk about, is that Pakistan are now playing baseball. They had scored 221 from 45 overs for 5 with some pretty crazy shots in there. Shan Masood batting 3 got 39 off 30 balls before he was out. Apparently, this is something Pakistan talked about. They played they played 9 home tests last year against England, Australia, and New Zealand. They didn't win any of them, I don't think, did they? They a lot of draws in there, and they get whitewashed by England. Their takeaway from it was when they batted too slowly to force results, and so they have decided that they're going to play, I think, what they call the Pakistan way. Which is it turns out baseball. Do you think it's a good idea?
It's better than what they were doing before, so I'm all for it. I mean, what was happening in Pakistan was horrendous. I'm not going to necessarily say that the issue was them not batting quickly enough. I mean, it was maybe a symptom. I mean, the cause was the fact that they rolled out some of the most turgid pitches I've ever seen in the history of cricket. And then by not scoring quickly enough, they took away any chance of winning the game. So maybe the first thing you do is actually put out some better pitches. But I like it. Aggressive approach. It's good. Like England, England are just saving Test cricket one country at a time.
Exactly. Yeah. And so to round off this section, Max, and we'll probably just do questions as a separate bit at the end so that we can fulfill our advertising obligations.
Mm-hmm.
The T20 Blast. Do you want to? This is a very incongruous. We've done India, Pakistan, now the T20 Blast.
Yeah,
the unholy trinity. What happened? It was Blast Finals Day on Sunday. An all Southern affair.
On
your boy Surrey
on Saturday. Yeah,
did not lift the trophy. Was it Saturday? Sunday. Yeah. It's all one, isn't it?
Yeah. Somerset ended up champions for the first time in 18 years. So good on them. It was a good final. It was a lot of rain about, obviously, so it was low scoring games. Somerset defended 143, I think it was, against Surrey in the first semi-final. It was and then Essex making it through in the first game to join them. But they look. I mean, when I thought it was going to be I thought Essex's bowling attack for that final was exactly the right bowling attack for the conditions that we had. It was like a slow pitch. It had been wet. It was hard to get the ball away, and Essex just had a raft of guys bowling it on an awkward length at 80 miles an hour, and it caused Somerset some issues. But there was sort of a late flurry at the end to get them up to again sort of around 140, and Essex just lost regular wickets after a bit of a fast start, and then Matt Henry nearly ended up being
hero,
the hero. But it was
a great catch to win it, wasn't it?
Tom Curler-Cadmore, catch. Diving catch and slip,
diving one-hander, like a deep slip to finally end things. So well done to Somerset, picked up a trophy there, and they'll be fighting, won't they, for the championship later in the year. Max, should we wrap up part 2 and then just do all the questions in part 3?
Let's do it.